And now for something completely different. Barbarian Prince. And there he is, the strapping young lad. Apparently he's seen some action. This is a game by Arnold Hendrick, produced by, there it is, Dwarf Star Games. That doesn't want to be focused on. There we go. This is another strictly solitaire game. Before I talk anything about it, this is a game I had my eye on for a while. Doom Arrest, Todd Sanders, who a couple of his games I've reviewed or talked about in the past, did a redesign of this game. This game is, I guess, I always want to say open source, but it's, I guess, public domain is the correct term. It's public domain. So he took kind of the map and redesigned it and added some counters and charts and such. But it seemed like a lot, and I guess actually looking at it, there's not too much to it, but I was looking to buy the original game. I didn't realize it was going to be in this VCR box. I was thinking it was going to be in something a little bit slimmer, but I bid on it and was outbid by Fractaloon, Albert, who does the One Player podcast, of which this is the logo. Spoilers. He contacted me, I guess, after he had his fill of it and asked if I was willing to, or actually, I guess he offered it to me. So he was willing to send it to me. I instead paid him my initial bid. He sent me this beautiful pink die that hopefully I'll be using, and that's his logo for his podcast, the One Player podcast. Plug. And I think this stuff was sent by him, which is much appreciated. Definitely not necessary, but it seems like it will be needed for the game, so very, very much appreciated. So, Barbarian Prince. The one thing that I guess he didn't get, I guess there's a silver barbarian pawn. This pawn will be plenty useful. The rules book and an event book. And then there are a couple of charts here with very, very tiny numbers. And apparently this is a tracking sheet. This stuff is almost on, like, I should put this under the plexiglass. It's almost newspaper. Just kind of regular paper. But it's an event-driven game, and the rules pretty much say you don't have to read the rules to play it. You read like 4 sections, which took me about 5 minutes, and then you can sit down starting with a pen and a paper, or probably more appropriately a pencil and a paper. Start with event 01, I believe, and you just kind of make your decisions and go. I've attempted to play a game that Todd Sanders also redesigned, which is Star Smuggler, and it's in there somewhere. Probably not necessary for this video, but I'm hoping this game kind of gives me a little bit more of an end to that. I played role-playing games kind of through high school and my early 20s, I guess late teens. I have a very hard time with event-driven games. I feel disconnected somehow. The Dark City Games, I believe, is the company. I played a couple of their games, and I think I enjoyed that more than I enjoyed Star Smuggler. Star Smuggler, I felt like I was missing something. I'm hoping this kind of releases me from that and I can just play the game. We'll see if that happens. I'm not convinced. But I am on board. I want to play this game and I want to get immersed in it. I've heard it's fun and brutal, and I like a fun and brutal game. But I also like a game that I don't necessarily have to know the entire rules for. I'm finding myself lately getting bogged down in 30-page, 40-page, 50-page rulebooks. Yes, this rulebook is 24 pages, but I've read probably 2.5 pages of it. So I want to just kind of hang out and enjoy the ride for this. And I want to take you on my journey through the land of Barbarian Prince. Evil events have overtaken your Northlands kingdom. Your father, the king, is dead! Barbarian Prince. I haven't played much of it, or really any of it, and I don't tend to like programmed learning, but the way this system works is really cool. So you sit down, and it tells you your name, Kalaroth. It tells you your combat and endurance. You roll for your wealth. For a prince, that's not too shabby. I rolled Albert's pink die of spectacularity here, and it rolled a 5 for me, which is wonderful. And I rolled a 2 for Wizard and Wild, so very thematic for the Barbarian. So basically, you're trying to gather 500 gold over the course of 10 weeks. We have a royal guard with us, his name is Ogab. We'll write his name down here. And we need to figure out where we are. So we roll a die. That's a 1. Which puts us in Ogon, Hex 101. Which is way the heck up there. So that's where we start off. And we will figure out where we're going from here. I'm going to try not to video too much. I don't want to do spoilers and stuff, but maybe when stuff comes up that seems videoable, we'll come back. Well, the prince is dead. And we're still there. So trying to get out of there. Got lost the first turn, second turn got ambushed by a pack of 3 bandits who in 3 rounds of combat inflicted enough wounds to kill the poor bastard. So we're going to start over using these same stats. I'm going to re-roll for that. Actually, let's do that now. Let's not get a 1. Got a 1. Alright. So let's actually talk about how that happened and hopefully not have that happen again. So first we decide what we're going to do. And we suffer a penalty for being north of this river here. So we're trying to travel here. So when you're traveling, first thing you do is see if you get lost or not. So we're going out of a forest. If we roll an 8+, we're lost. So we're lost. So that spends the day, and we roll to see if we see an event. 9, so we don't see an event. So we're going to try that again. 6. So we actually get to travel. Oh, you know what? I think the event happens in the new... Yeah, the event happens in the new terrain, which is open countryside. So it still wouldn't have come into effect last turn. So now we see if an event happens. Okay, that's good. We do want to see an event. So that's 11 versus 9. So what we do here, we roll a die and consult this. 5, countryside. We're at 239. So then we come down here to 239 and we'll roll across. And I like to put something there because from thing to thing I won't remember that we're in 239. And we roll 6, 239, event 69. And we come into our events booklet here and flip pages with one hand. Maybe I should put the camera down. Oh, this is interesting, right? Wounded warrior. You come across a heroic fighter near death. He has a combat skill 7, endurance 6, wealth 0, but he has 5 wounds. If you remain with him while he rests and heals, or carry him while he heals as part of your party, he will join your party as an ally at no cost except food and lodging as necessary. Which really, I mean, we might as well. He doesn't have any wealth to steal, and he's wounded. You know, why hurt him while he's down? So we'll do that, and maybe we'll heal. Maybe we'll go to a hobbit hole, which that looks a lot like. That's funny. I was my birthday is tomorrow, and I was thinking about giving something away. In the tradition of the hobbits, and I have very hairy feet, and get called a hobbit often in real life. So we need to decide what to do with that wounded warrior. We'll call him WW. He's Winston Wilson. And I'll put his stats down in a minute, and figure out if he's going to rest or do what. But that's the end of day 2 in week 1. So it's just like that. You decide what you're going to do, try to do it, and roll on an event table. And for some reason, this one, I guess there's less tracking in this than in Star Smuggler. I wonder what I'm going to give away. I've been thinking about Lord of the Rings. That game I was given, which is fun. I was also given that game, Almost Dangerous Time, by Aeneas on Board Game Geek, which is very nice of him. And Celis, which is right there, because that game's in 1941 and that game's in 1944. And Celis is in 1944, so it's right there. So we'll come back in a bit. Should note that's not dwellings of hobbits, because hobbits are trademarked, so it's a halfling town.